Hello. Hello. My name is Andy Lee Graham, and I've lived in 114 countries. And I've been doing this for 26 plus years. And I have to admit, I'm absolutely addicted to chaos, the rush of a risk. And a friend of mine is trying to travel around the United States and live in a van. And there's sort of this noble idea of living as a traveler, okay? And I'm often laughing and I make a lot of jokes about the digital nomads because the people that travel the least are actually digital nomads. There's nothing nomadic about their travel. They go to Chiang Mai, Thailand. They even have countries where they're offering digital nomads tax breaks and blah, so they'll come there and live. They're not actually trying to get them to live nomadically. But he wrote me a real funny thing in a text message on WhatsApp the other day where I was almost cracking up. I love travel. It's just having the need of a more of a home feeling than I missed. He says, I love travel. It's just that having the need of a more of a home feeling is what I miss. Okay, and right there is everything you need to know about travel. When you travel, you're not going to have that home feeling. It's just not going to happen. Travel is highly uncomfortable. I'm not sure exactly. This man told me, I watched a video, and he talked about if you're in comfort, you're not traveling, because there's nothing more uncomfortable than travel. Travel is chaos. I'm addicted to chaos. I'll never forget when I was in Costa Rica. Sorry, I'm adjusting this camera. I was in Costa Rica and I'd been traveling for about 6 months, and the man very acutely said, "You are addicted to travel now. After traveling for 6 months, you're addicted." And this is the problem if you go take off traveling for 6 months and you continually travel and you're not doing it for some sort of I'm going to return home and tell people about it situation. You become addicted. And, how long does it take you to get addiction? I don't know. But I'm definitely addicted. I mean, I think somewhere between 6 months and 2 years, people get addicted to the rush of travel, okay? Can they ever be happy without that rush? Yeah, of course. I mean, I can be very happy. Actually, I'm becoming less addicted to the rush and more addicted to the idea of staying in one place for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. But some people they go on vacation. The biggest problem you have with people that travel is that they're addicted to the idea that they got to get their money's worth. Okay, and that is a huge problem. Because people that go on vacation, their checklists, and they got checklists of 20 things they got to do every day to get their money's worth. They spent $2,000 to go on this vacation. They're going to get their money's worth. And that is the opposite of me traveling. I can stay in a room all day long every day and be totally happy. Okay. I go out. What I like about travel is I can live in a hotel room, which is like home. So I make my little traveler's nest inside this home. I'm in this room. I'm actually in Rio Negro, Colombia right now. And I can go out and it can be chaos. And then I can come back to my safe home thing. But I was laughing because my friend that was talking made this quote that travel is, he really misses the home part. He doesn't quite grasp that it'll never be home. Okay. And if you're going to get addicted to travel, very few people get addicted to travel. It's really got to be the almost the worst possible feeling. A lot of people will go on vacation and they will be so grateful when they get home that they don't realize that the goal of going on a vacation was for discomfort. It wasn't for comfort. If you're trying to get comfort and you're trying to travel, you're doing the wrong thing. Travel is always uncomfortable. Why? I go to a different country. It's quite simple. It's just I go to a different country. All the rules are changed. The language is different. They serve different food. Nothing is the same. The girls treat me different. There's nothing the same. Everything's opposite of what I'm used to. The only place where I feel totally safe Well, that's not true anymore. But the most safe place I could ever live is where I grew up, and I spent the first 18 years of my life. That is a comfortable place. Now the problem is, it's boring. Okay, and that's the comfort of home is boredom. Okay, and if you're going to really stay at home, you have to be willing to be bored. Okay, and if you don't, and a lot of people don't realize that they have a very boring life that is very good. Okay, now me as a addicted to chaos person, I go back to a very stable environment, and I'm upset because I don't have any problems to solve. But the thing I want you to accept right now is, if you're comfortable, you're not traveling. If you're uncomfortable, yeah, you're traveling. If you're comfortable, you're at home. But you can sort of switch comfort zones. Okay, it is possible to, in a long ways, if you really want to travel the world. The best strategy is probably to change to a hotel room, stay there for 3 months, and then jump. But once you know that you have a live within your means place, you move to that next place. I just talked to a friend of mine, and he said he was afraid to live abroad because he would get trapped. I didn't really understand that concept. I think that's the reason why people often keep two locations. Like, I was very fortunate that I always knew when I first started traveling that I could go back. I could always take a break, go stay with my mother and father for a couple weeks, and then go back out. Now, a lot of people don't have that backup. And if you don't have that backup, it gets to be really scary because in a way you're trapped wherever you're at. But it's really simple to slow things down and make a choice to go live in a place within your means. Economically live within your means. Nobody that is on vacation all the time ever lives within their means. They are basically a 2-week millionaire. So the opposite, see, if you want to have endless vacation living, it's not going to work. Okay, you got to sit there and say, but the easy way to do this is to choose a room that you can rent by the month and then go jump and live there. And then your food and all that other stuff you can kind of manage. But the cost of the room is everything. So I don't change countries, I change rooms. I change hotel rooms, but I always have a backup too. I'll have 2 or 3 rooms that I can move into. And then I do it. Now I'm so good at this, I can just get on a plane and go any country and find a room because I always know there's going to be something economical other than the 25 overdeveloped countries. So I don't really try to do that much. When I have lived in Europe, I have rented a room. Like, I lived in Tours, France, and a person rented me a room for 400 euros for a month. I lived in Barcelona, Spain, and I rented a room for 30 days for 300 euros or something like that. And that's how I live in the overdeveloped countries. And inside the United States, if I could rent a room for $300, I would rent that room. I'd love to rent a room in New York City for $400 a month, and I'd live there for a month. I'd love to, but until somebody somehow, by quirk of fate, whatever, I find this room, or somebody gives me a room in their apartment or whatever, or I rent something, I'm not going to do it, okay, because I want to live within my means, okay, and I have to live within my means. But the point is this, is travel is uncomfortable. And the way to be happy, though, is to first make the jump to a place where you're living within your means. If you think that you can suddenly have enough discipline to save money and all that stuff, it's kind of silly. You could probably save money on food and things like that, but it's the cost of the room that really is too much expense. Okay, but again, if you're comfortable, you're not traveling. You can make a 3-month move, and now for the first 2 weeks you'll be uncomfortable, then you'll start slowly getting more and more comfortable, and eventually you'll take all the photos you ever wanted, and eventually you'll get bored with that situation, maybe, and then you'll want to move. But life is simple when you accept what reality is. Travel's never going to be like home, and it's going to be highly uncomfortable. And when you go on vacation and you want it to be comfortable, you better darn well be living in a 5-star hotel with, 24-hour waiter service in Bellman bringing food up to you, and you got to have a better lifestyle than you have at home, because that is a vacation, is when you're actually living in more luxury than you do at home. That's a vacation. Travel is uncomfortable. Okay, I could talk all day on this. If you really want to live the adventuresome life, there's a way for everybody to do it. You can do it whether you're on I only get $669 a month in Social Security. I get some more Patreon, so I'm up to about $900. I can live almost any country on the planet economically. Big scary stuff is when you're 70 years old, your medical stuff. I have full coverage medical, okay? Absolutely full coverage. It pays everything. But again, if you want to become an adventuresome life, we have to do it in stages. Become a patron. We can have a discussion on this. Every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a Zoom meeting where we can talk about this. And if you just keep poking away, you'll eventually get enough answers where you're going to make that jump. Or you might accept that there's no place like home. Was that in The Wizard of Oz? They said that there's no place like home. And if you think that you're going to have a comfortable life traveling, you're not traveling. I'm Andy Lee Graham. I'm addicted to chaos, and I don't recommend that you get addicted to chaos, because most of them lose the plot. Okay, when you lose the plot, you just you don't get enough sleep. You don't do it. You just really can't stay within the thing. Losing the plot is when you kind of mentally go insane as a traveler, and 99% of them do. But you can go live in another location. That is possible. I'm Andy Lee Graham.